All right, there goes Donald Trump again. I'm going to give you his exact quotes against Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan. That is, of course, the governor of the militia in Michigan. Tried to quote unquote take out. They had plans for kidnapping and killing her, and Trump basically implicitly encourages folks to do that, to take action against her. I mean, you're going to see the quote for yourself, and and I'm going to give you the context for it so you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. These live videos are sponsored by two sets of folks, as I always tell you, twostrongcoffee.com/TYT. They give money to progressive causes, and they have the courage to do that. And it's organic and fair trade. Twostrongcoffee.com/TYT, and you guys as well. So membership makes Young Turks possible. If you're watching on YouTube, you just hit the join button below. And we got a great surprise for you here. It's not a surprise, I'll tell you right now. At the top of the show at 6 o'clock Eastern, Bernie Sanders joins us. So tonight, Biden's on CNN. Trump is on NBC, even though he's attacking NBC right now as we speak. And Bernie Sanders is on TYT. So Bernie is going to speak before Biden and Trump does, 6 o'clock Eastern, right here on the Young Turks. And again, your membership makes it possible. I can see all the members' names when I do these live videos, and I see you from all across the nation, all across the world, and you make all the difference in the world. And by the way, do not forget to vote. Okay, that's the Blue Nami shirt that we got on shoptyt.com. All right, let me get to this important story. So the militia, as you might remember, was called the Wolverine Watchmen. It's a goofy name, but they were deadly serious. They had a plan to kidnap Whitmer, the governor of Michigan. And they had a plan to, well, they thought about a lot of different things. One was blowing up bridges. The other one was leaving her on a boat in the middle of nowhere, leaving her to die. There was plans of bombing personnel who might be tracking them or opposing them. That would be the cops. In fact, recently in court, there was evidence given that they were planning to firebomb police cars. So that's a far right-wing militia that was planning to do these incredible acts of terrorism, domestic terrorism here in America. They were apparently also planning to, quote-unquote, take out the governor of Virginia, Ralph Northam. And so luckily, the FBI did a great job there and arrested them. Now, I was watching or listening to a podcast by Tim Robbins, who's a great actor from Shawshank Redemption and Bull Durham and 1,000 other movies, but also does this podcast and a wonderful progressive. It's called Bobo Supreme. I bring that up only because in it, they have an episode that came out before today where, I mean, it was so prescient. They tell Trump in the podcast episode, hey, there's a militia in Michigan that we've got to take action on. This is obviously fictional, but it's not that fictional. In that particular case, they had surrounded the state house of Michigan and they had taken captives. And Trump was saying, I don't care. Are they on our side or are they not on our side? And the whole, all of the generals, all the government is saying, for God's sake, take action, right? And Trump does, except in that case, he encourages the militia. And then today, he did that same exact thing. I mean, it's incredible. You listen, and I listened to the podcast a couple days ago, and then I see it today, and you got to give him a ton of credit. Again, a podcast called Bobo Supreme. Anyways, so what did Trump say today? He said on Stuart Varney's Fox Business show about Whitmer, quote, she has to open up. She wants to be a dictator in Michigan. The people can't stand her. They just tried to kidnap and kill her. And what are you doing? Just like in the podcast, the fictional Trump encourages the militia. The real Trump encourages the militia. After the FBI arrested these guys who was threatening this crazy, insane domestic terrorist plot, he goes back out there and calls her a dictator and say the people can't stand her, egging them on to action. That's unbelievable. And I know that Trump is such a maniac that we've gotten used to unbelievable actions. We've gotten used to his calls for what's called stochastic terrorism, where he says, well, I didn't tell Bob or Susie to go kill Whitmer. I just said Whitmer's a dictator. And I wonder if anybody's going to do anything about it. And especially after I knew somebody already tried to kill her. After I encouraged him the first time. Remember how I encouraged him the first time? He, among many other things that he said against Whitmer and against Michigan at the time, he then did in all bold caps on Twitter, liberate Michigan. These are not complicated code words for militia. Talk of liberations and tyrants and dictators. They're not even dog whistles, they're bullhorns. So if you don't know that famous line from Jefferson where he said the tree of liberty must be replenished from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Now, in that case, they were literally fighting against a tyrant, a king. But that is a very dangerous line that is now used by a lot of militia to justify their attempts at domestic terrorism, where they say, well, I mean, I had to replenish the tree of liberty with the blood of a tyrant. Now, again, Trump is perfectly aware that he's not a very bright guy, but he knows that. That is why he uses words like liberate and dictator. And in fact, this militia had planned to try her for treason. Look, there's the comical aspect of it. It sounds like what Bane would do in a Batman movie. But on top of that, there's the very real, again, reference to tyrants and trying them for treason, and the patriots must act, etc. In that same interview, Trump went on to talk about how there's a problem with Whitmer's husband asking for a boat. I don't know if Trump knows that they had planned to take her on a boat and leave her there. So he might just be referencing a normal story about Whitmer's husband asking for some permission for or a permit for a boat or something along those lines. But if he does know about the boat and how they were planning to basically kill her on the boat, that's another horrible reference. I'm going to finish this up in a second, but before I lose these notes, I want to give a shout out to Daniel Volpe, who is just signed up for membership by hitting the join button below. Daniel, appreciate it, brother. And sorry if I missed your name as this is going. And there's so many wonderful members already, like Nikki Diraskogo. I see your comment on here as well as so many others. So he said the governor's husband was the only one allowed. He was allowed to go boating, you know. That's the direct quote on that. And then finally, when you've got folks who are threatening to firebomb police, and you're pretending to be the law and order president, and you're pretending to be pro-police, Tony A., thank you for signing up, appreciate it. Then you go out there and you say on national TV, she has to open up, she wants to be a dictator in Michigan, the people can't stand her. That is 1,000 miles past the pale. And does it encourage violence? Given that they were plotting a violent act against her with that same exact language, when the president of the United States says that, does that appear to be a green light, especially after the guy already has encouraged that kind of talk over and over again? Yes, unfortunately, it does encourage violence. Pammy Jones, thank you for signing up and becoming a member. Look, you guys make this show possible, and the stronger we are, the stronger you are in getting the progressive message out and real news. So a lot of people covering this news now is like, oh yeah, Donald Trump said she's a dictator. Remember the one where the militia called a dictator and was threatening to murder? Well, everybody knows that Trump is, Trump's so crazy. No, it's not Trump's crazy. He's going to get people killed, let alone the 215,000 already killed over coronavirus. Bernie Sanders is going to talk about that tonight at 6 o'clock. So come right back here, tyt.com/live or youtube.com/tyt. You could watch it either place, same stream. So guys, we'll have more updates on this too. But we're less than 3 weeks out from an election, and the president's a full-blown lunatic, encouraging other lunatics to take aggressive action against his political opponents. If he wins re-election, if that kind of language talks, do you think Donald Trump will do less of it or more of it if he gets another 4 years? No, he will totally unleash the militias. He told them to stand by him during the debates, and now he's telling them, hey, remember Whitmer, the one you tried to kill, she is a dictator, so you're kind of on point on that. And God knows what happens for 4 years. He talks about Joe Biden's America. Are you kidding me? We're living in Donald Trump's America, where they're unleashing brown shirts, militias and folks with vendettas who are mentally unstable, who literally are arrested for domestic terrorism, and after they're arrested, he encourages them again. So that's who Donald Trump is. All right, guys. We'll see you at 6 o'clock as well with Bernie Sanders, Anna, and I back in the studio. So don't miss that. We'll see you then.